Welcome to RealEnglishConversations.net.
The podcast where we chuck the textbook out the window and show you how to drop the right word at the right time so you can finally fit in with the cool kids. Hey everybody, welcome to the Slang Conversations podcast. We're super excited to get started with this series, mainly because I know both of us are really interested in slang expressions in the language that we're learning, which is Spanish. And we're hoping that we can use our native English knowledge to bring some light to how to use these expressions confidently and to sound really good when you're doing it. So what's the word that we're going to talk about today, Curtis?
We're going to talk about the word cool.
And what is the literal meaning for cool?
Well, the literal meaning behind cool is the water in the pool is cool. It's kind of like a temperature kind of thing. It's cool outside.
Yeah, like a hot tub would not have cool water, but like a swimming pool would be a cool pool. But anyway, when we use cool in a slang sense, it doesn't mean temperature at all, and this is very typical of slang words. It's some word that the literal the translation of it doesn't make any sense at all compared to how it's used in a slang setting. So when we use the phrase cool, it's usually to express that something is impressive or interesting. It can also be used to indicate agreement or even a state of an emotion. So anyway, let's get started with this. So our first example is using cool just to express that you think something is impressive or interesting to you.
So like, hey, I really like your bike, Amy. It's super cool.
Yeah, you said super cool, which is just like cooler than cool. It's like extra cool. But
like your bike is the coolest on the block.
My bike is purple and it has a basket. It's cool. But anyway, another example, I might say to Curtis, hey, check out this YouTube video. And then, we're watching it for 2-3 minutes, whatever. And then it ends. And then Curtis would say,
cool.
Wow, that video was cool.
Yeah.
You just say, cool, It's just a acceptance term or something.
Yeah,
anyway.
Exactly.
All right, so another way that cool can be used is to express agreement. So, for example, I might say to Curtis, hey, do you want to go out for dinner a little later? I'm not really too hungry yet.
Yeah, cool. No problem.
Yeah, so...
I might not be hungry either.
Yeah, but the concept behind it is that you're just saying, yeah, cool. Like as in, I agree with the situation. I'm cool with it as well.
Right.
Sounds like a good idea. So maybe we're trying to split up some sort of task,
Yeah. So I might just say, I'll do the cooking if you do the cleaning.
I'd like to see that happen. But if it was ever an offer, I'd say, yeah, cool. Sounds like a plan. Curtis doesn't cook. I cook.
Yeah, we'll probably just leave that.
Another way that we might use cool is to kind of express an emotion or kind of like a state of being, like how you're feeling. Maybe if me and Curtis or you and one of your friends kind of have a little bit of a disagreement. Afterwards, just to make sure that you're okay with each other, you're getting along, there's no bad feelings, I might say to you, hey, are we cool?
Yeah, we're cool.
Yeah, so Curtis is just saying, yeah, you kind of made me upset, but we're cool now. Like, we're fine.
Yeah, everything's fine again.
Everything is fine between us. We're cool. Another example might be, I tried to get the concert tickets, but they were already sold out. Sorry, man.
That's cool. I understand.
So it's just, again, expressing that there's an understanding and that the emotional outcome is calm. It's understanding. It's calm. I would say the closest alternative for cool is probably awesome.
I like the word awesome as well.
Both of these words are I would say that they're timeless. They're not trendy kind of words. The word cool and the word awesome has been around for a really long time, and it's not a word that you're ever going to get laughed at for using.
No.
Everybody uses it.
And you're not going to be embarrassed to use it.
No.
You use both of them.
The same.
The same, yeah.
So, for example, instead of me saying, hey, I really like your new bike, it's super cool, what would you say?
Hey, I really like your new bike. It's awesome.
Exactly. We've got a couple of trendy words that we feel are kind of in style and used right now. I'd say probably for the last couple years anyway. But with these words, you just want to note that although the younger generation is using them as we are recording this podcast, maybe 10 years from now, they might seem a little bit outdated.
Yeah.
So going back to the bike example.
Okay.
It'd be, hey, I really like your new bike. It's wicked. So we're not talking about the bike being evil.
No.
It's literally just an example of substituting cool. Maybe you say cool a lot and you want to use a different word. You might use wicked.
Right. Or I might say your bike's pretty sweet.
Yeah, your bike is pretty sweet. Not like a candy. But again, it's cool. It's sweet.
It's sweet because it's got a basket and it's purple.
It's true. For example, we have a good friend, and he is a very talented snowboarder. So whenever we see videos of him that somebody has recorded, maybe he's doing like a snowboarding trick, he might do like a backflip or something and land on his snowboard again, and it just looks really smooth. If I was to see that, I'd probably be like, that's sick. Man, that is so awesome. I'm so impressed.
Yeah, can you do that again? That was so sick.
Hit the rewind button. I want to see that again. So really, like, wicked, sweet, and sick are kind of...
You'll hear those too, just as often as cool or awesome, which you hear more, more often. Yeah. But you'll hear those as well.
Yeah, like, oh, have you seen that movie last week?
Yeah, man, that was a wicked movie.
It was awesome. You know, it's just, how else could we use sick? Sick is kind of a weird example because, obviously we still say, hey, how are you doing? And it's, oh, I'm sick. Well, it's not going to indicate sick as in cool. It's going to indicate sick as in I have to blow my nose. Like I have a flu.
I was listening to this mix that this DJ was doing.
Yeah.
And man, that guy was playing some sick beats on that mix.
Some sick music.
Some sick music on that mix, yeah.
So just like, it was really impressive. It was...
The mixes were sick.
The mixes were sick.
Yeah.
Not with the flu.
And the DJ wasn't sick with the flu either.
No, but it was impressive. It was cool. It was sweet.
Yeah.
The mix was wicked. All of these, they can all be interchanged, one and the same. Now, we thought of a few examples how words that are in right now, like wicked, sweet, and sick. But then we also quickly came up with some outdated examples that just kind of sound funny to us. So
yeah, we wanted to throw those in for extra measure there too.
Because these might be words that you've found somewhere and you don't know that they're not current or trendy. They're just words that you found somewhere. So we were thinking the words fresh.
Yeah, I used to use that one back in the day.
Curtis is also very old. I've never used fresh.
Moving right along.
What else comes out of ancient times there, Curtis?
Well, I remember being a BMX rider and doing some tricks and stuff, and being a BMX rider back in the day, we used to say those were rad.
Oh,
those
rad
tricks were rad. Instead of how we were talking about our snowboarder friend, those
being
tricks are sick. They were rad.
They were rad, yeah. And then there's far out. which is kind of like, that was far out. Like, that was really cool. But again, it sounds outdated.
Yeah, I used to say back in the day that the DJ mixes were solid.
Oh, okay. So rather than it being sick or wicked, it was a solid mix.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like we still use solid sometimes, but it's in a different context. It's kind of like, that was a solid day.
Right.
You know, like, man, that was a solid day. Like, we went to the beach and we had some beers and, you know, had some great food and listened to some music or something. It's like a complete day.
Almost like it was the perfect day.
Yeah, but not to be used as cool, sort of like it was a few years ago. It's a little bit of a different meaning. So, anyway, that kind of, cool. That kind of summarizes our take on cool and how it's used. We'd love to hear your comments about it and maybe throw a few examples in, and we want to make sure that you guys know how to use this word right before you take it to the streets.
We want to make sure you guys are all cool with it.
Exactly. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.
If you enjoyed listening to this podcast and you'd like to see a complete listing of everything we have to offer, including conversations, English expressions, and slang, be sure to check out our website at realenglishconversations.net.